Let's assume you're at a point in your life when you want to understand what the next chapter might look like. Well, you can figure some of that out with a planner, and this is a quick preview of what it might be like to work with me. Of course, the whole point behind this is that you might have some big questions on your mind, like when can I retire, or how should I invest, or somebody told me to do X, and is that a good idea? Well, we want to get you the answers to all of those questions and take any action that might improve your chances of success. That way you can go about your life doing what matters most. That might be spending time with loved ones, or getting outside and having fun, or giving back to the community, whatever it is for you. I'll briefly mention that I'm Justin Pritchard. I'm a certified financial planner with 15 years of experience. I'm what you call fee only, so I do not receive any commissions for selling investment products. Instead, for example, you might pay a flat fee to work with me, or I might receive compensation from assets under management. But you don't have to transfer assets to me or invest with me if you don't want to. That's totally up to you. I'm in Western Colorado, and we can certainly work together by phone, mail, virtual meeting, email, etc. It might be technology similar to what we're using right now. It all starts with a brief chat. So to do that, you pick a time that's convenient for you. And we can do it the old-fashioned way, going back and forth, picking a time by email. More than happy to do that, really. Or you can pick a time on my online calendar if you want, and that's an easy way for you to see what's available and what might work best for you. Then we can do that meeting by phone if you prefer, or we can do a video meeting, and that way we have that face-to-face interaction. If that's something you would enjoy, again, that's totally up to you. If we decide to work together, then we begin the planning process. And again, that can be in person or virtual. If you can't meet in person, I think you'll still enjoy the virtual meetings. You know, in the olden days, you would drive over to an office and park and go inside and have the meeting and then reverse the whole thing to get back home or wherever you were going. And there are pros and cons to that, of course. But this is still an effective way to have meetings, and might be even better, who knows, if you just finished a bike ride or something and you don't want to go to somebody's fancy office. You don't need to do video if you don't want, by the way. We can just talk on the phone. But if you do decide to do video, you can use most mobile devices to do that. You don't need special equipment or a microphone or anything like that. Again, it's totally up to you if you want to do video. And just so you know, the meetings are in an end-to-end encrypted connection, and that way your neighbors don't get to know your business. I will probably need some information from you to complete your planning. So those are things like account statements or your Social Security estimate, things like that. Now you can, of course, hand those to me in person or fax them or mail them, but I also have a secure file sharing vault where you can upload that information securely over an encrypted connection. So totally up to you how you do that. The goal is just to have a number of different options where you can securely get it done, and we want to minimize the amount of clutter and things that are sitting around and waiting to get done. Just want to make it as easy as possible for you to drag and drop those documents to where they need to be. After I do my analysis, I look at everything with our discussions in mind, your goals and hopes and needs, and we meet to review the findings. This is just a quick preview of what some of the output might look like. It shows you how things are looking on your current path, and if I can suggest any changes, we can see how that might improve things. Then we can take a look at a lot more details, like how things might unfold year after year. Of course, we're never going to get the details perfect because we're predicting the future, but we make some educated guesses. What about the investments? If you choose to have me handle your investments, then we typically do that at TD Ameritrade. And you have your own login so that you can go in there and see your accounts. And there's a different third-party site that has performance reporting and all of the billing details you would ever want. That helps to keep everybody honest. I can run reports for you on demand as well whenever you want. So you can certainly keep tabs on your accounts if you're not managing them yourself. The type of investing we do is pretty textbook, plain vanilla, evidence-based long-term investing. In other words, it's pretty boring. We keep the cost low with ETFs or exchange traded funds and low cost mutual funds. And again, you don't pay any commissions when I invest the money or if I move it from one thing to a different one. Fees are important because you need to know exactly how much you're paying and who you're paying it to and where the money comes from. That's a big deal. So that is all spelled out in your agreements. And the agreements you can do on paper and pay me with a paper check, a personal check if that's what you prefer, or we can do it in a more high-tech way. That's kind of nice because it steps you through each portion of the agreement and you make sure you touch on everything that needs to be initialed. Not that there are that many things. And again, it spells out exactly what you're going to pay. So I hope that paints a picture of what it might be like to work with me. Now that might leave us in one of two places. If you are ready to take the next step, that's great. You can pick a time on the calendar or just start the conversation. I very much look forward to it. If you're not ready just yet, I understand. Feel free to take a look at some of the complimentary downloads. These are quick reads. It's like a brief ebook that goes over some really important retirement concepts and shows them to you with great graphs. I think you'll really enjoy those, and that can help us keep in touch. I know the internet is a big place. I would hate for you to have wasted this time that we already spent with you getting to know me. So I don't spam you or anything, but we can at least keep in touch, and hopefully we'll talk later. And if not, that's great too. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.